right. Okay, you're live.
All right, I want to welcome everyone to the Wednesday, February 17th meeting of Youngstown City Council. Does everyone have their agenda before them?
Yes.
See all the head nods? I think we're good. Councilman Ray, are you ready to go through the agenda?
Yes, Mr. President.
All right, let's start under communications. Item number 1,
Receive and file.
2,
Receive and file.
3,
Receive and file.
4,
Receive and file.
5.
Receive and file.
Under reports, number 6,
Receive and file.
7,
Receive and file.
8,
Receive and file.
and there's no public speakers. There are no public comments. Under ordinances, number 1,
Suspend to consent.
2,
Suspend to consent.
3,
Suspend to consent.
4,
Suspend to consent.
5,
Suspend to consent.
6,
Suspend to consent.
7,
Suspend to consent.
8,
Suspend to consent.
number 9,
Suspend to consent.
10,
Suspend to consent.
11,
Move to planning commission.
12,
Move to planning commission.
under signed out of committee, ordinance 20-60.
That will be amend and suspend.
And I believe Councilwoman Davis wants that to be a separate vote. Was that correct?
Yes.
So amend, suspend with the separate vote.
Well, it's going to be a separate vote anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's
President,
right.
because it's
Automatically.
amendment.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, so that's amend to suspend. Ordinance 2061.
That would be suspend and consent with a yes vote to defeat.
And ordinance 13-42.
Suspend to consent with a yes vote to defeat.
All right. So I think we're good. Let's just go through one more time. Under communications, item number 1,
Receive and file.
2,
Receive and file.
3,
Receive and file.
4,
Receive and file.
5,
Receive and file.
6,
Receive and file.
7,
Receive and file.
8.
Receive and file.
And no comments, no speakers. Under ordinances, number 1,
Suspend to consent.
2,
Suspend to consent.
3,
Suspend to consent.
4,
Suspend to consent.
5,
Suspend to consent.
6,
Suspend to consent.
7,
Suspend to consent.
8,
Suspend to consent.
9,
Suspend to consent.
10,
Suspend to consent.
11,
Move to the planning commission.
12.
Move to the planning commission.
Under signed out of committee, ordinance 20-60.
Amend and suspend.
Ordinance 20-61.
Suspend to consent with a yes vote to defeat.
Ordinance 13-42.
Suspend to consent with a yes vote to defeat.
There are no other changes. We're ready to go into the meeting.
Yes, Mr. President.
All right, well, it is 5:34. This meeting on Wednesday, February 17th, 2021 is now called to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Adamsat,
Here.
Davis,
Here.
Hughes,
Here.
McNally,
Here.
Oliver,
Here.
Ray,
Here.
Turner,
Here.
Kitchen.
Here. Councilman Ray, is there a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes for the meeting on February 3rd, 2021 and approve the journal?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes for the meeting that was held on February 3rd, 2021, and approve the journal. Do we have
Motion carries. Is there a second?
Councilwoman McNally?
Sorry. Second.
Thank you. Under communications and reports, Councilman Ray.
Mr. President, under communication and reports, items 1 through 8, I move that they all be received and filed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion carries. Under ordinances, item number 1.
To revise the Youngstown codified ordinances by adopting current replacement pages.
Councilman Ray.
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules of council and place items, ordinances 1 through 10 before council for passage pursuant to the consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call on suspension.
Adamzak,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
McNally,
Yes.
Oliver,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Turner.
Yes.
7 yeas for the suspension.
The rules of council have been suspended. Are there any other remarks? Roll call on the passage.
Adamzak,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Oliver,
Yes.
McNally,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Turner.
Yes.
7 yeas for the passage.
Ordinances 1 through 10 have all been passed. Under ordinance, item number 11.
Changing the zone classification of the properties located at 252 and 254 Valley Drive.
Councilman Ray.
Item 11 will be moved to the planning commission.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
All right, you okay, Lauren?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't think I had to second that one. Sorry.
Ordinance number 11 has been moved to planning. Under ordinances number 12.
Changing the zone classification of the properties located at 3112 Powers Way.
Councilman Ray.
I'd like to make a motion that item number 12 is moved to the planning commission.
Second.
Ordinance number 12 has been moved to planning commission. Under signed out of committee, ordinance 20-60.
Amending section 1 of ordinance number 19-47 passed by Youngstown City Council March 12, 2019, which established the master salary ordinance for the city of Youngstown. The amendment being to amend the salary for position number 2601-1001, Community Development Director.
Councilman Ray.
Mr. President, I move to amend ordinance number 20-60 as followed. In the 5th line, after the word department, strike from 76,833.87 to 72,398.56 to strike that and replace it with $73,122.61.
73.
Second.
I'm sorry, give me that number again, Mike.
$73,122.61. 73,122.61.
Got it. All right, and the motion has been seconded by Councilwoman McNally. Roll call on the amendment.
Adamzak,
Yes.
Davis, Councilperson Davis,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
McNally,
Yes.
Oliver,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Turner.
No.
6 yeas, 1 nay for the amendment.
The motion on the amendment carries. Roll call on the suspension.
Adamzat,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
McNally,
Yes.
Oliver,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
7 yeas for the suspension.
Rules of council have been suspended. Are there any remarks or questions?
President,
Councilman Oliver?
thank you, Mr. President. I just want to give our citizens at home a little bit of background on what's happening with this piece of legislation and kind of how things work, if that's okay, Mr. President.
You have the floor.
Thank you. So what happens here in City Council is basically City Council's job is to vote on the legislation that is handed down from the administration. Mr. Mike Ray taught me some years ago that there is a certain level of trust that has to be established between City Council and administration to make things work. In order for City Council to make decisions, we have to have enough information to be able to make an informed decision. I can't speak for all my colleagues, but in this particular situation, I don't have enough information that really can inform decision on why numbers are changing when it comes to this particular salary. So basically, this piece of legislation sat in committee for about a year. And like I said, I can't speak for everybody, but my reason was basically because I wasn't clear on if there were going to be repercussions that had to do with a certain lawsuit or litigation that had to do with a former employee in that department. So that's why it sat in committee for me. Like I said, I can't speak for everybody else. Now that we are having put somebody in this position, the job description has changed along with the salary. The administration put forth a salary of $72,398.56 for this new job description for the department, right? Then the particular person was in the position doing the job at the old salary of the old position. Somebody can interrupt me if I'm wrong. When it came out of committee, that's where we are now. And instead of assigning the amount that was originally proposed by the administration, council was basically being asked to keep it at the level of $76,885 that was attached to the old position. So this question is for me. I don't know how the rest of my colleagues feel. My question is basically, how did you guys come up with the number of 72,000 for the new job description? And then come to council and say, never mind, yes, vote to defeat. We would rather keep her at the 76, which is attached to the old job and old job description. So that's just where I'm confused at is, you know what I mean?
Who is your question directed to, Councilman?
The person we were talking yesterday about this current situation was the Chief of Staff, Nikki, but I guess the question would really have to be answered by the mayor, because that's her boss. So like my question is basically is the original job description with the amount of $72,000, you guys felt like that was the amount that should be paid for the job description of the new position at the time. So why then say we're just gonna keep it at 76 instead of giving her the amount that you proposed in the first place? It's just a little bit of confusion, and I don't have enough information to be able to make this decision. And that's all I'm asking for is for clarity and enough information to be able to make an informed decision.
Mayor, would you like to respond?
Mr. President, thank you so much. Just to the whole conversation about how this works. That's why we sent it to council's committee. These discussions are for committee conversations, not during council meetings discussion. If council members needed more information, all they needed to do was ask. We want to go to council, to the committees. That's where these issues are being hammered out. That was a year ago. So we're here a year ago, and this was sitting in the committee. It was brought out of committee because it was a matter of just cleaning up your committee work. Right now, we gave you all the information. If you needed more information, all you had to do was ask. But that was 12 months ago, a year ago, and it just sat in committee. Had we not said anything about this, it may still be sitting in committee. Unfortunately, we trust that the council will have these issues come to committee. We can hash it out, have information, share information, give you all the information you need so you can make it an informed decision. If you can't make it an informed decision, continue to ask for more information.
I'll let you follow up. I see you, Councilwoman Basha Adams-Act, but I'll let Councilman Oliver directly respond.
So the reason, thank you, Mr. President. The reason why, like I said, it sat in committee is because I couldn't get a clear answer from the law director or the administration as far as where we are with Teron, not even really knowing why he was terminated. Are we going to have any repercussions to deal with when, whether or not he wins or loses his lawsuit? Those questions still haven't been answered. So, you know what I mean? I don't think it's right to say we could have just kept asking questions or whatever. When you don't get an answer for a question, is what we do at that point.
Through the
Because
chair.
the question still hasn't been answered. All we get is no, you don't have anything to worry about. Well, that's not enough information.
Mr. President.
I'll let you respond, but I do want to get to Councilwoman Adams-Act. So Mayor, go ahead, you can respond.
Well, I think if you're tying something to one, two things don't make different. They don't make any sense. What that personnel issue is a legal matter. That's separate from what we're dealing with now. We can't stop operating the city on a what if. We have to continue to move forward in the city. So that's why we continue to operate. We can't operate on a what if. And if we can't give you an answer as it relates to legal issues, because there's a legal process, you must let that legal process take it to the whole process. I can't wait on a what if. I need to continue to work and make sure things are taken care of in the city. So.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Councilwoman Adams-Act.
Thank you, Mr. President. As the chairwoman of the CPED committee, I just wanted to clarify that this ordinance was not sitting in the committee for a year on council's end. It has been sitting in committee because the questions that my committee members and my other colleagues had were not answered. We didn't have the full information that we needed, not only from the legal aspect, but also waiting to get a complete and cohesive plan for the whole restructuring of the department. Upon receiving that and going over that and having some additional questions answered, finally it did move out of committee, but it didn't just sit there for a year on council's end. It sat because council was waiting on administration. So I would like to just make sure that was clear and on record.
Thank you. Was that our law director, Jeff Limbian, trying to get my attention?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You have the floor.
I just want to clarify for Councilman Oliver that I have told him before a year ago, and I told him this past week that the legal matters having to do with Teron Cunningham, first of all, shouldn't be discussed on the floor of council. And second of all, have nothing to do with the restructuring or the filling of this position. No connection whatsoever. I made it clear then, and I'm making it clear now. This shouldn't be a political issue. This should be an issue having to do with the economic development of the city.
Thank you, Mr. Limbian. I'm going to go Councilman Oliver, Councilwoman Davis, and then we're going to vote this thing up or down because it's been discussed quite at length yesterday. The rules have been suspended. We are under discussion. But Councilman Oliver, then I'm going to come to you, Councilwoman Davis. I see your hand.
Thank you, Mr. President. I still didn't get an answer to when this position was presented, it was presented as if it should be paid the $72,000 mark. So I still don't understand how you guys came up with that number in itself, and then how you wanted council to just say, forget the original number we gave you. We think it should stay at the 76 or be raised to currently right now to the $77,000 mark. How do we do that? And why did you expect council to just be like, okay, we'll just give you the 77?
Well, I don't know who you're directing it to, but just so we're clear, the amendment on the floor is for 73,122.61.
Right, that's
Okay.
that's basically, but to the original mark of the position, if it's
76.
it would be 77. It would be
Right, okay.
77 at the end of the day. So
Got you.
I'm just wondering, how did we go from redoing the job description and the position and asking for 72, which would be 73 at this point, and then saying, okay, let's just leave it at 76 or 77, which it would be at this point? Like, how does that work?
So you're addressing this to who directly?
The mayor, I guess. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mr. President, thank you so much. Councilman, that's why this conversation happens in committees, not on the floor of council. It's not today's conversation. The justification you're looking for should have been those same justifications. You gave me two justifications. You wanted to know the salary, and then you wanted to know about the legal issue. Are you asking for both? Did you want to know the legal issue or the salary issue? The salary issue it came from, yeah, I hear you on the floor of council, while we have a motion on the floor during discussion. These conversations could have been had while we were in committee. More than welcome to share that with you. Had very good justification. The restructure that Ms. Poshley put together for her department, all spelled that out for this economic recovery and the plan for this department.
Basically, you don't have an answer. Thank you.
Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you. Mr. President, I am a little bit confused. Which item are we on now?
Ordinance 20-60. The rules have been suspended. We're under remarks right now.
Okay. I understand how we got here. They answered the question for me yesterday. That's one thing. Number two, this is council's meeting. All due respect, Mr. Mayor, this is council's meeting.
It is.
Okay. So if council chooses to bring something up, that is well within our purview. And while we're meeting with you in your office, it's your purview. But my question was answered yesterday, but I just want to remind people that this is council's meeting. That's all. And I would like for us to proceed from here. I mean, my question was answered yesterday. And Mr. President, you've explained to me that we are still on number 60.
Yes, we are. So, roll call on the passage.
Adamzat,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
McNally,
Yes.
Oliver,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Turner.
No.
6 yeas, 1 nay.
Ordinance 20-60 has been passed as amended. Under signed out of committee, ordinance 20-61.
Amending section 1 of ordinance number 19-47 passed by Youngstown City Council on March 20th, 2019, which established the master salary ordinance for the city of Youngstown. The amendment being to amend the salary and title for position number 1901-4000, Deputy Director of Planning.
Councilman Ray.
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance 20-61 before council with a yes vote to defeat.
Second.
Roll call on the suspension.
Adamzat,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
McNally,
Yes.
Oliver,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
7 yeas for the suspension.
The rules of council have been suspended. Are there any remarks or questions? Roll call on the passage with the yes vote to defeat.
Adamsack,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
McNally,
Yes.
Oliver,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Turner.
Yes.
7 yeas for the passage.
Ordinance 20-61 has been passed with a yes vote to defeat. Under ordinance 13-42,
Authorizing the Board of Control of the City of Youngstown to implement in all economic development projects within the City of Youngstown, utilizing no-cost or low-cost land acquisitions, tax abatements, tax incentives, and any other type of financial incentives to pay prevailing wages and abide by all federal and state of Ohio prevailing wage laws.
Councilman Ray,
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules of council and place ordinance number 13-42 before council with a yes vote to defeat.
Second.
roll call on the suspension.
Adamsack,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
McNally,
Yes.
Oliver,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
7 yeas for the suspension.
The rules of council have been suspended. Are there any remarks? Councilman Ray?
I just hope that we can look at this in a more current fashion. I think it's still an important issue. I hope that the proper committee would work with the administration to address it. That's all. Thank you.
All right, roll call on the passage.
Adamsack,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
McNally,
Yes.
Oliver,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays.
Ordinance 13-42 has been passed with a yes vote to defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our agenda for today. Before we dismiss, I want to give the floor to our Health Commissioner, Aaron Bishop, just to update us on what's happening with COVID and vaccines and all of that stuff.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, council persons. I just want to give you an update of where we're at with the vaccines. As you know, we currently are only doing residents 65 and older. So as of 2 weeks ago, we had a waiting list of 900 people. I think we're down to about 800. And so next week, we are going to be doing 900 doses. I just received word that we're going to be getting 900 doses. So our goal is to try to get every single person that's on our list vaccinated next week, so that we would be down to 0. And again, people can continue to sign up on our website. But just to let you know, this week, this past Saturday, we were at Norton Manor, we were at Amelia Plaza, and as well as Gutnick Towers. Today, the National Guard was here, and we did Park Vista, Calvary Towers, and Grovewood Manor. So we were able to get our high rises done today with the National Guard. And again, we were just focusing on 65 and up. We continue to tell people to go to our website at covid19.youngstownohio.gov, where they can sign up. And if they can't sign up, they can call us at 743-3333. It'll lead you the prompts to where to go, and then someone will help you walk through signing up if you don't have a computer. So again, we're hoping to get everyone that's on our waiting list down next week. We will be next week at Eugenia Atkinson on Tuesday. We'll be at Oka on Wednesday. We are going to be having a blood drive at Eugenia Atkinson next Wednesday. The blood drive will be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we're letting people know that if they do go and give blood, that they're going to do testing for the COVID-19 antibodies. So I think that would encourage people to go to see if they have the antibodies. If they haven't gotten vaccinated yet, or they haven't been tested, they can go ahead and see if they have the antibodies. They'll also be giving a $5 Amazon gift card if you donate blood next week. So again, that's Wednesday at Eugenia Atkinson Rec Center. So that's why we're doing it at OCA next week, during that day. And then we are going to do OCA on Thursday. And then we're going to do an all-day clinic next Saturday. So that'll be our 900 doses for the week. And again, if anyone's having trouble, just contact the health department and we can walk you through the process in getting on the waiting list. So again, 65 and over, and we're going to be there, the governor says, for a few more weeks to catch everybody up. There are bigger cities where there's a ton of people on their list. I know the county last week were 15,000 deep for their waiting list. So we're hoping to be able to help out a little bit and bring that down. So thank you very much for letting me have the floor, President Kitchen. And
you're welcome. And again, we thank you for your work. You and your department have done a fantastic job with the communication and implementation. And so stay safe, keep up the good work. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
7th Ward, Councilwoman Adams-Ack, any comments, final comments?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
6, Councilwoman Davis.
Yes, Mr. President, if Erin is still here, is she still on the line?
She's still here.
Erin?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, yeah, Erin, have you done any PSAs on TV announcing the telephone number?
We do, but does come across comes across the bottom. If you're ever watching the news, it has our number going across the bottom.
Okay, and it's in the newspaper as well that they can call in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because so many people don't have Zoom. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and it's on our it's on our website. But again, we can absolutely just kind of send out another PSA, to the different media outlets and get that on again, just to remind people of the number to call.
I would appreciate it because my concern is that, Youngstown is not a wired city.
Sure.
And so when you say go to the website, so many people in Youngstown, it's across the board, don't have the internet.
Sure. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Erin.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. President, one other thing, Mr. President?
Yes.
Yes, I would like to ask my fellow members of council if they, yesterday at the zoning appeals meeting, we had an issue come up with chickens. And I asked that board to table that subject so that all of council, we as a council can meet to discuss this thing and provide some sort of guidance to the zoning board, the appeals board. And so I'm going to ask Valencia, and I wanted to let our the members of council know that I'm going to ask Valencia for us to send out an email seeing if everyone's agreeable to having a general meeting and a meeting of the whole to discuss this subject. So I just want to let everybody know. So I think this is something that's going to be coming again and again and again. I know there's 5 more permit requests that's in the waiting, and I don't have a problem making a call, myself, but I think all of us should have a voice in this because it affects all of us. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. 5th Ward, Councilwoman McNally.
I don't have anything at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. 4th Ward, Councilman Ray.
Just stay safe, keep your distance.
Yes, sir. Councilwoman Turner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just again, this is like Mike said, to stay safe. Remember to wear your mask, wash your hands, and keep your distance. But something that's a little more important is that voter registration ends on April 5th for the primary, which is in May. We need to make sure that you are at the ballot box and you're voting because your voice counts. There's a lot of things on the ballot and a lot of positions that are up on the ballot, and want to keep on top of mind this year. We will be working on redistricting, and that affects how you are represented across the board. So it is really important that you take the time to get involved and become an educated participant in what is happening in your community. no matter what's happening at the federal level, state level, your local level, you guys can reach out and touch us. You know us, you know where we live, you know your representatives here, and we need you to be at the ballot box in May and then again in November. So the message going forward, every time we come together, is to make sure that you're registered to vote. Your information is up to date with the Secretary of State's office, and that we are doing our part as citizens and participating in the progress of our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Second word, Councilman Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I'd like to mimic Samantha's remarks. I think they're very important. And I also like to ask everyone to stay safe. Thank you again.
Sir. First word, Councilman Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I just want to say thank you to those pastors and school CEO that opened their doors in case our citizens needed to stay warm during the power outage Sunday. Second, I want to echo the sentiments of my colleagues and say, stay safe, keep wearing your mask. Third, please get out and register to vote. We're gonna need them votes. We need responsible people in position to be able to make correct decisions for our city. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.